Okay. Okay, so hi, my name's Angela. Well, my official title is head roadie for heavy metal therapy, and I've been asked by the boss for heavy metal therapy, Kate, to have a bit of a chat with Steve about Born to Bleed and the kind of everything that kind of has led to your brand, you being owner and founder. So I'll just let Steve introduce himself and then kind of make a start, if that's all right.
Yep. My name's Steve. I'm the owner of Born to Bleed Clothing, which I just formed in September 2019. So basically, my idea behind the brand was basically have create like heavy metal t-shirts, or heavy metal style t-shirts, hoodies, all those kind of clothing. But the only twist being it had like absolve with a positive mental attitude. So it was like motivational and inspirational quotes on the back of them and things like that. Just to encourage people basically to overcome their struggles and believe in themselves more, basically.
Okay, so for people that haven't seen your site, Steve, or your blog, or kind of read up a little bit about you and what's happened, are you able to just kind of give me a bit of an introduction to you and how you came to that thought of wanting to do t-shirts with those motivational things, messages on them?
Yeah, basically, I went through a couple of really, really difficult times, real dark periods in my life, which is sort of what happened quite a few years apart, but it's basically what led me to creating Born to Bleed. So like back in 2000, I was involved in a three-wheeler accident, like a three-wheeler motorbike. I actually broke my back, snapped my arm, and smashed my left wrist. So as you can imagine, that was a bit of a traumatic sort of time, and it led me not only because of the physical pain, obviously it was extreme. At one point I didn't know if I was going to be paralyzed or not. But like I actually never asked that question because I was afraid. But luckily enough, they were able to sort of piece me together, put like metal plates and stuff into my back, my arm, and my wrist. And I was on my feet again. I was actually on my feet again within about 3 weeks. Albeit not very, very strong in my feet, you know.
3 weeks?
Yeah, so I was surprised because
so shots went squeaky. 3 weeks. Wow.
So basically, they gave me the choice. I had to make a decision like out of my head of morphine, which is basically I could lie for 6 months and see if the bone, like my back especially, they were concerned about because the arm wasn't that, it was a clean break, and like the arm will heal up better than your spine normally. There's not as many complications. But basically, they gave me the option to lie for 6 months and see if my back healed by itself, or they could operate on me and put in like the metal plates and rods, you know, basically put a fixation to help me. So what made me choose going to the operation, basically I could have laid for 6 months and then I would have to get the operation anyway. You know, so but once I said like, okay, I'll go for the operation. The specialist is to the nurses, I want him on his feet within 2 weeks or something like that. It was around about 2.5 weeks, I think, actually. I was actually less than 3 weeks. It was 2.5 weeks. They had me on my feet, you know, just to get onto the seat. So I wasn't actually walking at that. But it was pretty quick considering how extreme the injury was. It was pretty quick. So as I say, getting through it, the pain was extreme. But the biggest hurdle I had and the biggest difficulty I had was how it affected me mentally. You know, you're just in your head all day, stuck in the house all day, not able to do all the simple things, like I couldn't cut my own foot up. I was like 19 years old, and I had to get help from my mother to get dressed in the mornings, and you know, just all the simple things like tie your shoelaces,
make a cup of tea, coffee, whatever, little bits.
Dinner, yeah, or just literally walk more than a few steps. You know, so it really put me on that dark place mentally. You know, so but I got through it, and I started progressing pretty quick. I was just stubborn, like I went through the stage where basically I felt sorry for myself, as you would. Why me, all this kind of thing. Yeah. And then I was actually realizing then when I heard I think I read one of our local papers over here in Northern Ireland about a guy he'd actually just tripped and fell and broke his neck, and he was paralyzed from the neck down. And then within a short space of that, like within a few days or a week of that, I heard of a guy in a pub in a town near me who actually fell off the bar stool drunk, broke his neck, almost paralyzed from the neck down. So that sort of almost just snapped me out of it. I was like, well, those guys wish they had my problems. You know, so it's not too bad after all. You know, I can still walk, albeit when I was back home from hospital, I was able to walk about 30 yards. So I was able to move. I wasn't that worried about my arm. So it's like I was sort of fairly confident up ahead, but it was like obviously the back, the big one. But I say that hearing about those two guys just really snapped me out of it, made me grateful for what I had, you know. And like, yes, it might be bad, and I'm worse off than a lot of people around me.
Yeah.
But there's still hope, and like I'm still moving, so like there's still so much to be grateful for. And then I sort of just flipped my mindset at that point. I just started looking at things more positively, you know, like, right, well, let's focus on what I can do, not what I can't do. You know, so basically focus on that, and if I can only walk like 30 steps today, next week, I'm going to walk 40. You know, and just make those just wee small incremental improvements just every week. And I was doing like all the stretches and stuff, and anything that I could to move and improve. So basically, eventually I've seen progress every week, you know, and that's made me a bit more positive, a bit more hopeful. And like my main passion, my main driver at that point then was like playing on my band, getting back behind the drum kit with my drummer. So it was just like, I want to be back playing drums, and I want to play better than I've ever played before. I want to write awesome music. I want to play gigs. I want to tour, you know, and I want to just give it my all. And I say like heavy music has always been the most important thing in my life. It's always helped me since I first got into it, from hearing Motley Crue and Pantera, like when I was like around about, I must have been 12 or 13. So it was Motley Crue got me into rock music, and then led me on to like Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, those kind of things. And then with Pantera led me on to the heavy music. And they just blew my mind. I was just obsessed with Pantera fans from then on. But say the music has always helped me through, and it helped me through that time as well. But the driver was wanting to play music and play drums, because that's what I love to do. And I say just that determination to get back to playing music and writing songs in my band, putting the band together, you know, that just drove me. And eventually, like, within about a year and a half, I was back to work after the accident. And then I was like, I had already started jamming with my friend who's a guitar player. We really started looking, writing music, and started looking for other musicians and stuff. So, but I say anyway, to cut a long story short, basically overcame that. I started swimming, I was exercising, I was back drumming, and then it just threw that. It gave me a new outlook in life too. You know, so just go for what you love to do the things that you love and enjoy, and you know, fuck what anybody thinks or whatever. You know, just go for it.
On the back of one of the t-shirts, fuck what everybody thinks.
Yeah, that's an idea, certainly. I've a large list of ideas there, that could be what could be added to it. And that's another thing I want to get across with the Born to Bleed brand too, is like it's all about, you can overcome any struggle. There's always a way, there's always hope, there's always a way to improve no matter how bad it is. Another thing is just to think to yourself and just, what we just did there, fuck what other people think. Live your life your way, you know, and try to look at it in a positive way, or take a positive from every negative wherever you can. But I say, like, I know what me, I talk about having a positive mental attitude all the time on social media for the brand. But I know sometimes some people see it as like, well, you can't be positive all the time. But to me, it doesn't mean you're happy every minute of every day. It just means basically, you know, like your overall attitude. You know, if something bad happens to you, like there can be a lesson learned in that, or it can give you a new outlook on something, or. But the more you do, like basically, like I focused when I had my back injury, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to walk normally again, or how well it's going to heal. It was when I started focusing on the positive things, what I could do rather than what I couldn't. That's when things started to improve for me. So actually, basically rehabilitated my back and my arm and all, got back to drumming, back working, get back to some sort of normality. I spent basically the next 10 years or so, I'm just throwing everything into my band. So we ended up from lying at one point in my hospital bed, not knowing I was going to be able to walk. Ended up, you know, like playing gigs all over Ireland and music videos, and we actually went over did like a short tour in the US, the East Coast tour. So we covered 5 states over in America. And like that was just, we weren't playing the massive stadiums or anything, obviously it was just like small gigs, but it was just a dream. you know, it was just a dream I had of just getting away and touring and playing music and having people actually love the music that you're writing and moshing to it, you know, and screaming the words back and stuff. Like, it was just brilliant. But something I thought could have never been possible back at that stage where I was lying in the hospital bed. You know, so being fit, that was my story overcoming the first thing. But then years later, they were back like 2000. Don't think now what year it was. 2011. It was actually shortly after we came back from America. The band split up. You know, we made all these new connections and stuff. And to me, that was the true beginning. And then it turned out to be the end.
Yeah.
We just gone through so many singers and stuff and throughout the years. And we said this was the last go we were going to give it for this band. You know, when it ended. And then a few things started going wrong after that. So that was absolutely devastated. That was like someone in my family dying was losing that band. So that was a big blow to me. And then it's just like one thing after another over the next couple of years. It started to get worse. Between relationship breakups, being stuck in a job that I fucking hated. And then I started developing this chronic knee pain, these like burning sensation in the knee.
Oh.
And so anytime I sat down, this burning pain in the knee was around about, I think it was like around the first couple of months of 2012 it came in. It just started this burning sensation and came and sitting down, and it just kept getting worse and worse. Like it wasn't, it actually ended up affecting me worse than breaking my back. But the pain wasn't as extreme. But it was the fact that nobody was able to help me. Nobody could tell me what was wrong.
Yeah.
So it ended up like it just caused me so much pain. It was just that constant burning and constant pain anytime I sat down. There was a period for about maybe 5-6 years where I also wasn't able to get comfortable any minute of the day whatsoever.
Yeah.
I could sit and lie. The best I felt was when I was standing up or I could walk. It sort of took the pain away a little bit. But it was always there just in the background, and I just like,
Just
you know,
chronic.
you suffered a lot of pain, but just constant pain, it just wears you down. You know, and again, the physical pain was bad, but it was how it affected me mentally. And after going to the various specialists, getting scans, X-rays, MRI scans, going to my different doctors, and there was nothing there.
All the assessments to then be told after each one, well, it's not that, so we'll try this, and we'll look for this, and then it's not that, and then it just kind of, can imagine it kind of just leads to more stuff and more questions about, well, if it's not that, then what is it then? And when are they going to find out?
People say, you know, like, you sure it's not in your head? I was like, no, well, this is real. This is real. I'll say, but I just kept trying one thing after the other, and then I was told, I actually paid to go private. So, you know, we're lucky enough in the UK here, we have the NHS, and there's free healthcare and stuff, but you know, like a lot of the waiting lists were really long. So I actually paid private for a consultation. Two different, a back specialist and a knee specialist. And it was one of them things, the back specialist, because they knew my previous history of my back injury. The knee specialist sent me to the back specialist. Basically, they scanned me, the MRI scans and stuff, they paid a fortune for. And like, I think his consultation fee was like £150 for like 5 months at the time. And he basically just told me, well, yeah, it may or may not be coming from where you injured your back years ago.
Yeah.
And then
Tell me not.
I think it's just like sort of, it's like he was barely looking at me, and he's like, you know, it's just one of them things. And he's like, well, that's it.
That's it. That's the end. That's the definitive answer you were looking for.
So they like,
may not be.
And even painkillers, like painkillers, there's a few other ones that went to. One thing they all did say, a strong possibility was nerve pain. And after reading up and researching myself, you know, that burning sensation seems to be nerve pain. You know, but there's no actual physical damage that can be seen in scans and stuff. But I said to him, like, is there nothing you can do for pain? Those painkillers aren't working. He just went, it's just one of them things you might have to deal with the rest of your life. Because you can maybe get your doctor to prescribe you these, but you probably, and then he just sort of like, he almost mumbled it, but you probably wouldn't want to be on them the rest of your life for that long. And I was just like setting an alarm bell off me, because it was, these must be bad then. So basically, I went home and researched. I actually looked up the leaflets, you know, I went and got the tablets, looked them up, and like I read the side effects, the possible side effects, and then I researched online. And then it's like 1 in 10 people have suffered these side effects, 1 in 100.
100, yeah.
And I just like, fuck yes, I draw off the pain in my knee. You know, that's how bad they were. Like, you know, But I say, it just kept on. I tried one person after the other, and I started to feel more and more hopeless. And the pain just was wearing me down more and more. I was getting just really depressed. And say, I was being on a job that I just really hated. I say, I just might have a bad breakup. I just seemed sort of as if everything was just falling apart. And it was affecting me in my head just the most. It was just like deeper knew that. Talk about the black cloud over you.
Yeah.
It just kept getting worse and worse, and I was getting a lot of anxiety. And then the way I chose to deal with it was always was like a heavy drinker and stuff at the weekends and stuff anyway. Like my beer and my Jaeger. So I went into that like even more. So it was like drinking really heavy at the weekends, and then I ended up like taking other stuff as well. Not that it wasn't prescription. Ended up just partying basically to try and numb the pain, because that's the only time the weekend, that was the only time I wasn't in pain. But then what goes up must come down. So after your hangovers or your come downs after that, then the depression and the anxiety I suffered was even worse. And the pain actually got worse too, and then it just got into that cycle.
Yeah, that thing of not slept, felt like rubbish, got up, feeling pain, feel rubbish. Remember,
It kept getting worse. I just got to the point, where it was like, just nothing. I'm saying, like, I was always good at it. I was always like somebody always depressed, everything. Like I was always like an introvert. Didn't really talk much about your feelings or anything, especially with men. They don't like to talk about their feelings, or just pretend everything's okay. So on the outside, I looked fine. People see me out in the bars or partying at the weekend, just thought I was on top of the world probably.
Yeah.
Because that's that short space of time I was able to have a good time, but then the rest of the week was just miserable. And I just got to the point, where it got that bad. I don't think it would ever have taken my own life, but it was certainly, I was close to the edge, like very close to the edge. I didn't care if I woke up in the morning.
Yeah.
So even at the weekends when I was partying, like, it's doing you harm. Well, I know it's not good for me, but I don't care. We just got to that point.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'd be looking out for different therapies and different treatments, to try and get to the bottom of this knee pain and stuff. But then I'd also sort of found myself stuck in the job I was in. I was afraid to try anything new or do anything else because I didn't think I was able to cope. So I was like, I read an Einstein quote over the definition of insanity, doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results, or something like that. I was maybe paraphrasing it. And it sort of made sense to me. It's like, well, I was just doing the same thing over and over again and just saying, well, I can't do this or I can't do that until my knees are better. And then I started defining myself, letting the pain sort of define me. But it wasn't until I went to a guy, he actually done Chinese medicine, though he wasn't Chinese. He actually became friends with him. So I went to him for like acupuncture and things like that.
Oh.
But he tried so many different treatments and different ways of dealing with it and approaching it. And he wasn't able, it was only nothing to do with taking away the pain. He was getting frustrated that he couldn't help me. But on the plus side, he was seeing me for treatment like on a regular basis, and even just talking to him, to me, was pretty much, he's not a counsellor. That's pretty much the role he sort of took on. He just gave me a wee bit of hope. Like, and he always said to me, there's various things, when I came out of his house and where I worked, when I was in a better mood, even for just a short period of time, he always used to say, if the lid's not on, there's always hope. So that always stuck in my head. But I wasn't saying, but the turning point for me was when he actually then recommended I read a book called The Secret.
Yeah, you put that in your blog. Yeah, I wanted to know more about that. What is this book that just seems to have just like focused all your thoughts about positive mental attitude?
It's about the law of attraction. Basically, the sailor basically summed up as your thoughts become things. So anything you look at in your house, that started off as a thought in someone's head. So like where it's a table, someone had to have that table in their head to design it and then make it. Or where it's the house you're in or anything. And there's a lot of people who believe that the law of attraction, where you attract what you think, so your most dominant thoughts, is what you attract. So basically, if you're like negative all the time, you're depressed, like you think you're always complaining about having bills or being in debt, the more you just constantly think about that and keep expecting more bills and more debt, then it just gets worse. So to me, your thoughts affect your behavior. If you're thinking you're doomed, you're not as likely to try something new. Whereas if you believe, right, like I can see something in my head, like whether it's improving your health or achieving something, you know, you're more likely to take action, you know, to make those things happen. And the way it sort of related to me was he recommended the book to me, and if it had been anybody else, I was just like, I don't know, I didn't really call myself an atheist, but I basically wasn't an atheist, or you maybe call me agnostic, whatever. Like I didn't believe in organized religion.
Yeah.
Didn't really believe in God or any higher power, but I also didn't say like I don't know for sure that there's not. You know, so I just felt like I don't know, don't care. Everybody believe whatever they want, but just don't force it down my throat.
Yeah.
But anything that like it's hard to get me. I didn't believe in anything basically. So it's only because it was him, because I knew him and trusted him and respected him. But he told me about this about the secret, and I went and ordered it, and I read a wee bit about it, and I was like, nah, don't know about that. And but it's only because it was him, I gave it a chance, and then of course I went back to that like the Einstein quote, that sort of thinking there, you know, like I need to do something different. What the way I'm doing things isn't helping. So
Just going round and round.
So it's just fuck it, I'll give it a chance. You know. So
Put a t-shirt slogan, yeah, fuck it, I'll give it a chance.
There's another one. We're going to have a full new line out here for the end of this.
Yeah.
But say like I get a chance to read it, and to me the guy would have dismissed it as basically very bullshit. Because like it was an uncomfortable read for me. But I was just constantly right. Look, what you've done isn't working, so there's no harm in trying it.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And there's still some of it, even though like that book, like, hands up, it changed my life. It really did, because it changed my mindset. And it's not everything in the book that I agree with 100%. But I think a lot of people call bullshit on it, because I think it leaves out the most important part, which is taking action. Which is basically the part of it to say, you know, whatever you want in your life, you visualize it, in your mind, and you have unwavering belief in it that it's going to happen, or you're going to get it, or whatever. And then it comes, and the way it's put across, some of the people understand that. A lot of people have taken that from, you just imagine it. So I want to have a Lamborghini. So I just imagine it, and it appears in the driveway. You know, like, to me, like I didn't take that from it at all. But I do get why some people thought that way. You know, because the way it's worded in the book, you can
think, oh, it's quick fix. I can get like imaginary everything that I wanted just now. If I think of winning the lottery, then or if I, think about the car, then it'll appear. But that's kind of almost set yourself up to fail. But maybe if you thought about, well, I'm gonna imagine changing and improving my car, that's probably possible.
Yeah. Or if you want to car, you're after you think about that car after, and then you see about how you can earn that much money, and you just like do whatever it takes to get that, to get a promotion, to start a business, or do whatever. The thing that really helped me to relate to it was thinking of different like biographies of guys in metal bands and rock bands that have basically made their dreams come true. When everybody was telling them it was crazy, they had a vision in their head. I'm going to be on stage someday playing in front of thousands. I'm going to make this band work. I'm going to play music for a living. No matter how many people told them it was crazy, or no matter what obstacles they came across, they just kept going and they kept going.
Yeah, that drive. I'm going to do this.
So to me, that was an example of the law of attraction. And then I heard like people like Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter.
So,
No.
But like, oh.
Well, most people have probably heard of Conor McGregor, like one of the famous mixed martial artists, in the world. So there's him. I was thinking I discovered a video of him talking about the law of attraction, and basically it was the same kind of thing he was saying. Like he's saying himself as the world champion when he was like 19, and they actually shows there's actually footage of him in an interview when he's only 19 years of age, still an amateur, saying I'm going to be the heavy. My name's Conor McGregor. I'm going to be the not heavyweight. I think he's middleweight. I'm going to be UFC champion.
Is he mixed martial arts?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah.
Did he? I'm terrible with names and stuff. Is he the guy that was a boxer and then went to mixed martial arts, or am I mixing it up with somebody else? He's very.
I think he did some
heavily tattooed.
But he was he's like a tiger or something.
Big chest piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from Dublin.
Yeah.
So he talked about it, and it's the same thing basically. He's in his head. He was talking about it. This was just going to happen for definite. And everybody laughed at him, told him he was crazy, but he just had that belief in himself, and he just worked his ass off. until he got to the top, basically. So hearing things he got there, sort of, that was what I took from that book, and then there was things on it like, basically, what was it, have more love for yourself, put yourself first,
Yeah.
and that's not being selfish, because that's something that I would have thought, I felt it was like selfish, like I think a lot of people, just the way we're brought up and our parents were brought up, like it's almost put other people ahead of yourself.
Yeah, put everyone else first, and yeah, your needs are kind of second, and to think about yourself is sort of seen as selfish, but it's not
But
really.
it's not really. But the way it made me realize, well, if you don't look after yourself and your health is down hell, or you're not in the best mindset, you're not going to be nice to be around.
Yeah.
Any of your family or friends or loved ones, and you're not going to be much help to them. If
Mm.
you're a disaster, like you're not going to be much help to anyone. So
Yeah.
things got there, you start planting new thoughts in my head, and like another one about holding grudges. Holding grudges against, I have a couple of grudges against a couple of former band members. It's all made up and all since then, because we actually got back together a couple of years after that, and actually from the old band, did a reunion show. But I'd say that was one of the most powerful things I did making that team, was holding grudges. I wasn't someone that held grudges easily, but the playing in the band was the most important thing in the world to me. And anybody that did anything that sabotaged that in any way, that's just like my stomach just and not like just even at the thought of it, like, and just the rage come over me. But I say just letting go of that, and then starting to believe in myself more, and just start to see myself like, I will beat this, I will get rid of the knee pain, I will heal, no matter what it takes. And then I started, I will look after your body and your mind more, change the way you're thinking. I was changing the way I was thinking was basically the biggest thing I took from it. So I had a complete shift in mindset, and it took me like repeating things over and over in my head every day, like, like I'm happy, I'm healthy, that, which you still almost like felt like I was lying to myself, but at the same time I was like, I'm going to give this a go. And as I did that, then I started changing things. I started eating a bit healthier.
Yeah.
I started cutting down my boozing and partying at the weekend. I started exercising. I wasn't able to do that much, but I was able to come across a thing called DDP yoga. I was actually an ex-wrestler, same as Alex Page. He had busted his back, so he had when he was wrestling. He was told he'd never wrestle again by 3 of the top spinal specialists in America. So his wife got him doing yoga. So she basically talked him into trying it. And then he added these other exercises into it. So it's basically based on yoga poses, but like strength and calisthenics and other exercises, mixed in with it.
Yeah.
So I started doing it. So there's no impact in your joint training, but it's good for your flexibility and building your strength gradually. So a mixture of those things. Like, and I started getting better. I started improving all the time, and then any improvements I started making, I started to feel that bit better, and then I started to believe that I was going to get rid of my knee pain more. And just believing more in myself and all. It just led me, like, within a year maybe of reading that book, I'd actually get promoted. Like, changed the job.
Yeah.
Then I actually get promoted within with less than a year from that. And then get 2 pay raises. Things, and then I was getting a lot better and healthier, and my diet has cleaned up a lot. Like, and you just start feeling better in every way. But eventually, I was overcoming the knee pain. It started to fade, and it wasn't holding me back anymore. And then I started pushing myself more, and ended up from someone who never ate healthy at all. Like, I never did. I was naturally skinny, so I never had any weight problem. But I never ate healthy. I was a kid that his mum couldn't get him to eat his greens. I wasn't eating any vegetables.
I'm not doing the vegetables. No, the vegetables are a no, mother. No, it's not happening.
That was basically it. And I went from there to like juicing. I started juicing and stuff. So like juicing fresh fruit and veg. And that was one of the ways that got me to put like the nutrients and vitamins and stuff in my body, and that helped as well. And it actually led me then starting to eat more of them. And it actually, the taste buds actually changed over time as well. So like, I'm 40 now, but I actually had my first salad at age 38. It was only actually it's a joke with my partner. Like, and she would have made stuff at the start, like made food, like eat turkey. And she would have made certain dishes, and I was like, nah. I was more like, my friends just keep me going, but kept beans and sausages, man. That's the only thing I ever had. It's all just like plain food.
It's an interesting milestone. 38, and I had salad.
So it's never too late. It's never too late to change. And actually went on to like a couple of years later, like actually it was actually May 2019, actually I went on a 28-day juice challenge. That was drinking only fresh fruit and veg.
Mm.
It was freshly juiced. So I'm blended, mixture of it and blended as well. For 28 days, just to completely detox the body and just load it up with vitamins and stuff. And still, like, I felt great after. It was really hard because you don't realize how addicted you are to like junk food and stuff. And even at that point, like I was eating healthy at that point, didn't I? You know, but I say like it just goes to show that you can turn like my legs just did a complete 180. Like, my legs from like a few years ago were just unrecognizable.
Yeah.
And I ended up like starting to hit from sitting in pure pain and discomfort every single day and not able to do much. Went from that to doing like, and again opening my mind up to doing different things like the DDP yoga. Then I did like ordinary traditional sort of yoga. And again, like that was my head, and it was the first mention of yoga. I was like, I'm not doing that shit. Like, I was like, I know the really naive way of looking at it because I knew nothing about it. I thought it's for chicks and hippies.
Yeah. I'm not wearing yoga pants and doing the downward dog. What are you talking about? Go away. Like, kind of response.
That way of thinking, no, just open to doing anything, whatever it takes. I end up doing yoga, say that DDP yoga, and then actually went up hiking up mountains and stuff, and end up then doing MMA training. You know, like, and that for somebody who's broke his back years before that, and then had these knee problems. Next month, I'm in the gym training. I'm upside down doing handstands against the wall, lifting beer kegs above my head, doing like flying knees and kicks in the pads and stuff and all. Like, it just made me realize, you know, like how much more I could do than I thought I could.
Yeah.
You know, and just every improvement I made, I just started to believe myself even more. So say, and that all that led me to basically overcoming breaking my back way back in 2000, and then the knee pain, which actually lingered on for a lot longer, 5 or 6 years, really had me down depressed. Like it, but doing that there, like it really turned things around, and it led me on. Right, what else do I want to change?
Yeah.
The job I was in, I didn't mind it, but it was a fairly good job. I couldn't see myself doing that. Like I said, I really want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, definitely not. I want to do something that I'm interested in. Before that, my thing was always to be playing music for a living, going through the world and stuff. And I was like, I want to do something that'll help other people and connect my love for the heavy music.
Yeah, bring it all together.
And especially for the music, you know, you guys like connect everything you do is all like how the heavy music has helped people through all their hard times. And like that was the one constant through everything. Even the time when I wasn't able to play music, I wasn't able to play drums for about 5 years. And that's the thing that I love to do more than anything. But I still had the music to listen to.
Yeah.
So I listen to the music like it. From the times you were angry, depressed, or whatever, you know, it's like music has helped me through it's helped me get through all the worst times, made the good times even better. You know, so I came up with the idea then of how can I help connect something that I love, you know, to do with heavy music, and along with, you know, like helping people or putting out some sort of their positive message, you know, or something to encourage people. And then I came up with that idea. It just sort of came to me. It's like, so what about like heavy metal, like band style t-shirts, the stuff that metalheads love to wear? And basically, after just to be honest, it's basically the kind of stuff that I love to wear. You know, only with motivational quotes, you know, or something inspirational. You know, and then to share like on social media different things that help me through my hardest times. You know, whether it be the songs I listen to, whether it be the likes of the juicing or the exercises that I've done, or even get into meditation and stuff, something I never thought I would have tried out. You know, just all these different things. It's like, well, there's probably other people who are in the same situation as me or similar, or just suffering just in a different way. And a lot of these things that I've done would probably help them. So literally, even if I have something like the first t-shirt I put out was the Never Give Up t-shirt, with the Born to Believe circle logo with a skull on it, and then on the back in massive letters it says Never Give Up. I think that's the biggest message I want to put out to everybody. Because like, no matter how bad it is, whether you suffered what I've suffered, or suffered like, nowhere near as bad, or suffered way worse, there's always something you can do, you know, to improve things. But it all starts ahead, and to me, like sometimes even seeing like a motivational quote's not going to just turn your life around. But for some people, it can maybe just flip that switch or it can just be something that gives them that extra wee bit of encouragement on a day that they're
The
struggling.
massive push.
You know, so somebody maybe walking down the street, sees somebody else walking past, but they never give up, sure, and just sees the words never give up, and maybe that'll just, they'll maybe go, you know what, I won't give up. You know,
Yeah,
be
spark
thinking,
something.
yeah, just it might be, you know, but it's definitely it's better. Like there's so much fucking negativity in the world, especially these days. And like anything positive at all, like as a bonus, I just want to do my bit. If it even helps one or two people, you know, like to me, it's been worth doing it. And I'll say, like also, like I've also shared like different challenges and stuff. Like to constantly challenge myself and try and face the fears. Just sort of, like, there's always another level you can improve things. Like I still have my times that I struggle, like everyone else. And sometimes you get back into the dark, have your dark days or whatever.
Yeah.
But just the sharing those and the social media and all, like sort of my journey and things that I'm doing to improve my health and the like to this here, like that's why I want to share. Like I'm not someone I'm really uncomfortable getting on camera, you know, speaking in front of people. I was always such an introvert, but it's something I've just sort of only started doing towards the end of last year. It's like great. Speaking on camera and speaking in front of people fucking terrifies me. I'd rather get punched in the face.
Great. This wasn't my idea. Okay.
But again,
I don't like this either.
but again, that's that thing, like, you know, it's worrying about what other people think. In certain ways, like, I never cared. If I get back, or people were taking the piss for when I was growing up, like being a metalhead, you know, like you're like, ah, whatever, like it's not going to stop me doing what I'm doing. I'm going to like what I like, wear what I wear, like everything. But then in other ways, just I think everybody has some element of it where you're worried about what other people think.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the kids that are just, you know what, fuck it. Again, fuck what they think. You know, who cares? Just do it. Because again, maybe speaking out, because like hopefully that somebody hears my story, it'll maybe help them the way that me hearing other people's story has helped me. Sometimes like, it can be just something simple you hear of somebody doing, and I could just figure something. Maybe I'll give that a go. You know, or just use that extra bit of hope. You know, and I say especially among it's not like, I don't care, like Born to Bleed to me is like I'm aiming at it as metalheads and the people like me who love the things that I love. But that's not to say like you know, if you don't like metal, if you still like a t-shirt, I'm not gonna say no, you can't fucking wear that.
It's a big thing on like the website. You name 3 decent bands, and if you can't, then you can't come in. Is there like a so there's not some sort of like, you know, culling process or anything, or like
No.
You're not that discriminatory, Stephen.
Absolutely not. No. Everybody's equal. Everybody's equal.
Oh, so you mentioned loads. It's just I just find it amazing that like you've been through so much, and I think that I don't know what would you who was like 18, or what would you if you were like, you know, if it was 2000 and you were, you know, having about that 2-3 weeks where you'd been told you can have the surgery, you can have all these, you know, rods in, etc. What do you think you then would say if you'd seen you now, you know, juice diets, yoga, doing so much, you know, positive stuff? What do you think you'd say?
To myself, like basically.
Yeah.
Basically say, look, don't fucking worry. It's gonna be all right. You know, you're not stuck like this forever. You're gonna improve. You make some changes. You put the work in. Keep believing in yourself. You keep believing that you will heal yourself, and you'll keep improving. And you know, things are gonna be okay. Like no matter what, they'll always make it through one way or the other.
You think it would be a big shock to you if it was, you know, the 2000 you looking at you now going, if somebody came along and went, this is going to be okay, because believe it or not, this is what you'll turn out like. Do you think
it's been a lot of shock from that time just lying in the hospital bed, where literally, like I can't even describe. It's not to make people feel sorry for me, because it's obviously it's not really, it's not the answer to any problem. Like it's okay to see some empathy, you know, but the pain, like that much pain, where like my grandfather actually was standing in the hospital bed when he came in to visit me, and he actually like just like tapped his fingers on the edge of the bed, you know, just like that there. And I actually like felt as if someone was like sticking a knife in my back, like, you know, I remember the look on his face, he was shocked, and I was like basically shouted out. somebody stop beating the bed, and he's literally just tapping on his fingers to get those sensible. So for me, going to that point was like extreme pain. So where I'm at now, and the things I've been able to do, like the biggest thing for me was the MMA class, something I thought I would never been able to do. Like I was never going to go on and start competing. But if I had enough broken bones, like I'm not going to go that far.
No, I think you've had enough.
I'm not
Not to be
scared.
prescriptive or anything, but no more.
But the fact that coming up to like I only started that like 40 now,
Yeah.
just 40 like in December there. So I started that one was like 37. I kind of training with some of the other. There's some guys in their 30s, but a lot of the boys in their 20s now. For me to get it said to me back then, when you're in your late 30s, you'll be doing MMA classes, training, and you'll be better and stronger than you've ever been.
Yeah.
Like I probably couldn't get my head around it. Just like fuck, you're full of shit.
Who are you? No. And you said, that sometimes that you still have dark days. So what do you do when you're having a bit of a dark time? Is there anything in particular that you find useful or that you try and focus on to help with those kind of times?
Yeah. One of the things like exercise has been something like basically it has like it's not like I don't love exercise, like I don't do every single workout that I do and just love it. I don't think there's anybody that loves every single workout. But a lot of the time I find like when I just go ahead and do a workout and a good hard workout, I feel a lot better after.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's just as simple, like the constant ever since like recovered from breaking my back. Like nothing makes you appreciate walking, like having it taken away from you.
Yeah.
So that was something. And then because like I always had like a certain amount of back pain in the years, so like staying still causes me the most pain these days. So if I sit still for too long, like my back is always like it's stiff. Compared to move sometimes if I sit for too long or I lie in a certain way. But once I'm up and I'm moving, I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
So ever since back then after my accident, like walking was something I did every single day and just really appreciated the fact that I could walk. And that's something still to this day, because it not only helps like physically, it's walking good for you, but it helps me clear my head.
Yeah.
So I like to go for a walk. I'm lucky enough I just live in like a very small village. So there's like a woods near me, and you can walk down to the river. And I find it good out into sort of like nature, whether it's like the woods or going up a mountain that's not that far from us. But even if it was in town as well, I'm just going out for a walk in the fresh air. I find it can help me clear my head, just makes me feel a bit better. And it's not like every time like I feel down, go for a walk and everything's okay.
Yeah.
It sort of like it eases the pain a wee bit, or it just helps you get your head together. And after just doing that, like maybe a few walks, I go for a walk every day anyway. I make that as part of my morning routine. Go for a walk, like that was a big thing that helped me after when my knees were really bad. When I started to change things, it was getting up a wee bit earlier in the morning, and just going for like a 15-minute walk every morning.
Yeah.
The fact that I even had that was one of the small, it seems like it would be insignificant thing, like it had such a positive effect on me. Like you get up and start the day rather than sort of getting out of bed, depressed, pissed off at the thought of going to work. At least you get up and sort of get your head together, get out into the fresh air, get moving, instead of setting me up for the day better. So, and again, sometimes I go for a walk and I'll be blasting heavy music or some sort of music, depending on what mood I'm in. Sometimes I'll listen to some softer stuff, like a lot of times it's the stuff that plays music, heavy, aggressive stuff.
Clear out cobwebs.
Yeah, just blow it on, just blow out all the cobwebs. And then other times I just want like absolute peace and quiet. Like I go for a walk up the woods, or like say just no noise at all, or maybe a podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Where things are talking about positive things, whether it's like how to improve your health, your fitness, or it could be like music podcasts, whatever.